Kishab55 says, I am new here. Welcome. What has happened in the last hour or so? Haven't really looked. Who do we got in the chat? How do I see the member list? I'm such a noob at Twitch. I don't even know what to do. Let's see. Do I recognize anybody? If I don't recognize you, but you're a regular, I apologize. I see Anthony. I recognize Anthony. Engineer, recognize you. Kamikaze, I feel like I've seen you before. Lusas, perhaps, great leader. Octopi rings a bell. A couple more names. All right. So he says, is this options chain? So what we're looking at right now is we're looking at the flow feed. What is this? Never mind. So we're looking at the flow feed right now, which is just a feed of every single options trade. However, we are filtering for some pretty specific things to try and help us find better stuff than usual. See, Cantor Music says thoughts on banks hitting near-term bottom. Near-term bottoms, aren't they like kind of doing all right now? JPM currently sitting at a new all-time high. Excuse me. Bank of America, how are we doing here? I mean, they're on the up and up, so I'm not sure about a near-term bottom necessarily. But banks do. Oops, let's just go here. Banks do report starting next week. So this week, short week, not a whole lot going on. But the following week, at the end of the week, we got JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi. What is BK again? Bank of New York Mellon. Yeah. So then the following week, it begins. So it's coming up on us soon. Okay, community banks. I can't speak on that. I literally know nothing about that. So I'm not gonna even speculate. Like, I couldn't tell you a single thing about it. Big Red Pond says, big fan. I'm a big fan of you. The Snowy 27s, what's going on? Feel free to fire out questions, tickers, contracts, what have you. Let me pull up this list of things that I'm supposed to look at. Alright. Got a little list going on here of stuff. So let's just swing by the change log first. I'll link it in the chat. How do I do that? I do that right here. Nope, I don't do that. I do that right here. Alright, so change log, pretty self-explanatory, just a list of website changes. Most recent change we have made is added a seasonality chart right here. So it just shows you over the last 14 years how has the market, or how has this specific equity performed. You guys may or may not know, but July is seasonally a pretty strong month for the markets. As you can see, in the last like 15 years or so, it's only been read twice. I think the Qs have only been read once, maybe not even. Yeah, so not even. So as you can see here, QQQ July, just like an absolutely outrageous month. So, you know, obviously past performance is not a guarantee of future results, blah, blah, blah. But you guys get the point. July has been a pretty sweet time to be a bull. So here, let me link this in the chat as well. Check that out. There's a search bar right here, so you can put in whatever you want. Let's see, we'll just type in Amazon. I mean, so pretty much like all the tech stocks should just have just like a nice July, pretty much. Yeah. What about the small caps? Small caps, kind of a mixed bag, but generally on the up. The Snowy 27, do you think it's possible to do that for each week? Are you referring to like a seasonality week by week kind of thing? If so, definitely can do that. I think that's on our list of things to do. I think I already did that. All right. Let's see. Let me link you guys to this feature. Probably my tweets on this maybe a little bit better. This is all test data currently. So we have this thing called the portfolio analyzer. It's just, let me pull up the tweets that have more of the features on it. Currently it only supports these brokers that you see right here. But once you upload your stuff, it just instructions on how to do it. Just click on connect on your respective broker. Give me a second to find the tweet. But let's see, I'll go back here. It has, and I don't have any data here, but because I haven't uploaded anything on my end. But let me link a tweet right here. Are we on an ad right now by chance? Are we on an ad? Could be on an ad. This thing says we're on an ad. I don't know if we are or are not. Okay, so we're not on an ad. Okay, well the UI tells me that we are on an ad, so it's L on Amazon, which is coincidentally, the Snowy 27 asks, "What is your favorite long-term investment?" Not financial advice, not a sexy pick. I mean, everyone is long Amazon, and I am too. But L for Amazon for saying that there's an ad on here when there wasn't. But real quick, let's just divert into some Visa calls that just hit. Visa earnings. So this overlaps earnings. 280 strike calls. If you click on the candle on the contract chart, it'll open up the feed to that specific time. So we can see per the timestamps, just like a singular transaction, for better or worse. So, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. There aren't a whole lot of context clues. Like ideally, there might be multiple transactions. I mean, I know that there are multiple lines of data, but I mean, this is most likely just like a singular, someone's singular order that just happened to fill at, as you can see here, a variety of different exchanges. So there's that. Big Red Pawn asks, can you check the January 25 Palantir 31 strike calls? I sure can. I added that to my thing here, my contract lookup, which is like the greatest page in the whole world. I linked it in the chat. So you can look up any contract, you can add it, you can look at it. Helps with tracking. Tracking whales, for example. What's like a whale that it's been like a week or so? Let me pull up the Reddit one. What was the strike? It was 65 August what? August 18th. So for example, let's just pretend that this was today. I add it to my thing like so. Now we can track it throughout its progress, see how it's doing, and this thing is doing quite well. What was the price when these guys got opened? June 25. Reddit was $58. It is now $72.50, which is pretty sweet. So back to the Palantir. Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot to say. As you can see, the activity that took place from like 10:10 to, we'll just say like 11. So like 10:10 to 11, as you can see here. Pretty significant impact on the net premium chart. What else were they trading today? So like weeklies, don't really care too much about that. Just looking for like a little bit longer dated stuff. There is some flow on the 31 Septembers as well. We can take a look at. These guys kind of just been bleeding out all day. Probably long, if I had to guess. Earnings in 31 days. What is the exact date? August 5th. 31. I mean, when has this thing seen? When has it last seen the likes of 31? Not since. It's been a long time. Not since like 2021. Yeah. I think it's long. It looks long. But the Visa, they were buying at like 558. It's like it's pumping up a little bit. What are they paying for it now? 590s. Anthony says, first time chatter, by the way. Finally get to join us Snorlax Live. It's good to have you, buddy. Good example of a put sale that came in today was the Snap July 26 14p. Let's take a peek at that. The Snap July 26. Can we just see it here? Can we say 14p? 14. So it does. It is most definitely an opening trade at the bid, so we can assume it's a right. Yep, I would extremely confidently agree that this was a short put, which does overlap earnings on the 23rd. It hasn't been 14. It hasn't been $14 for a while. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a little put right there. Let's see. Anthony says if you want ETF flow SPY 552 July 19, I believe. Yep, this is one of the ones that we added near the beginning of the stream. So these guys came in at 234, high of 308, which is obviously pretty sweet intraday. What's going on, Bean Man? You're late, but you're here now. That's what counts. First time chatter. I had Tor start says, what's with the SMCI talk I see everywhere on X? 4th of July pump. I haven't seen anything outside of the ordinary, honestly. Has there been any standout flow? Let's take a deeper look. I guess another thing we can do is just do this. Use the regular filters, see if there's anything outstanding. Nothing too promising from there. Alright, so let's see. We'll go SMCI, we'll go volume over open interest. Let's see stuff that has over 60% at the ask. So it's all these. So it's hard to know. I mean, it's hard to tell if they're, when they're buying, when they're selling. Like, we don't know for sure. There's plenty of examples where like ask side activity is actually like a sell. So all we know is volume. You gotta like kind of use your brain to think about like what fits into what. Like, if there's 500 contracts traded like in this range, and there's if there's 0 open interest, and then there's another 500 contracts here, like what could possibly, like what are all the possible outcomes of stuff? Which brings me to something that we can, just a little exercise, I guess. Where is the tweet? Pulling it up off screen. Alright, here it is. So I will I just dropped the tweet in the chat. Feel free to pull it up. Take a screenshot, whatever. I'll post the whole thing in the chat as well. And then like we can go over the answers because there are very specific answers. Like so, there is actually a right and wrong answer here. So it's just kind of like a knowledge check on like open interest for you guys to use your knowledge to try and figure out. So we can get back to that if I remember at the end of the stream. If not, just remind me on Discord, Twitter, or whatever. So SMCI, I'm not seeing anything like flow-wise that would make me, that would make me do anything, for lack of a better term. So I guess I'm not sure. ATT says, given multiple whales, do you tend to rank based on premium, ratio of volume to open interest, or technical chart, or any other criteria? Given multiple whales, like on the same like ticker, or do you mean like just here's like a whale on ticker A, here's one on ticker B, ticker C, all things equal, are we ranking premium, etc., etc.? Let me know if you can add a little bit of clarity. Okay, so he says different tickers. So the chart is something that I should probably look a little bit more into, something I don't do as much of as I should, admittedly. It's a good question. I mean, like, it's honestly just like, there's a funny meme, if you guys know the Kingdom of Heaven, blah 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 is speaking meme. What is that again? Kingdom of Heaven is speaking meme. It's like, it's this guy, and it's like silence, technical trader, vibes-based trader is speaking. So not to be too much of a meme, but I mean, like, there are some vibes involved. Like, let's be real. Everyone, there's vibes involved. I don't know how else to say it. Obviously, all the stuff matters. All the criteria that we look for, such as premium, volume to open interest, all that stuff. It has to matter. But like, not all flow is created equal. Like, if I could pull up $50,000 flow that turned into like a 20x, and then there's like $1 million flow that turns into nothing. So like it just depends, honestly. I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you. Obviously the chart, if it if it looks like it's gonna do something one way or the other, then if you have additional like supporting evidence, then flow can mean more or less. Big Red Pond says, Mara, end of month calls. Let's take a look. A little bit of Nike activity, but I don't want to look at Nike. Nike is just in a terrible place right now. Alright, 23.5ers. So we have some stuff coming in here. So the thing about like crypto miners is like crypto miners are the true coin flip to me. Like, you're beholden to Bitcoin, you're beholden to interest rates, you're beholden to like everything. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just the way I see it. Mara is something that I used to like. I would write puts. I got assigned because I was a dumbass, and I was writing them when I think it was like $40, I think, way back in the day. Maybe more. Yeah, I was writing them like in here, feeling real smooth when it went up. But then finally got caught with my hand in the cookie jar. I didn't really understand. Like, I don't understand miners, honestly. Like, if you know, you probably know more about miners than I do. Speaking to everybody in here, so miners, probably ask someone else, unfortunately. Let me get to your comment in a second, Anthony, and everyone else. But we have a ticker, a specific contract. Someone is saying a huge order. Let's see. the July 26 Spider 553. That we do. That we do. So now we have 3 distinct, just fucking huge chads. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They're huge chads. Whoa, 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 whoa. Was that a glitch? Okay, that was a glitch. Alright, so let me get back to some of these previous comments. Rory says, let's go. This hour needs to start feeling the power. Absolutely. I mean, SPY is, it's trying. It's trying. What's the tide doing? This tide is trying. The puts, they're not here. They stayed at home. Anthony says, platform suggestion for you would be to somehow freeze the results per page when you're clicking on the contract date. Try and elaborate that for me, because I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. I had to restart. Okay, so I had to restart. I read that completely. I read your name completely jacked up before. Okay, so I can see it now. I had to restart. Okay, so where would be a good place to start looking about premiums? So, like, what do you mean by premiums? Because, like, I mean, premiums is just a word that has 1,000 different meanings depending on what context. Are we talking like net premium, like market tide premium, like the ticker, net flow, charting, stuff like that? If so, then I would direct you to the market tide page. There's a tooltip right here in yellow which tells you the methodology. I have a video as well. Let me find it. Where is it? Bro, where is it? I'm looking at something on my other screen. Okay, I found it. I will post it in the chat as well. What did I? Is it like the Snapchat? Yeah, okay, so it's a Snapchat. It's based on Snapchat. It's pretty straightforward. I would definitely maybe watch it, then read this, and then watch it again, knowing what you read. And I think it should hopefully make a little bit more sense. Let me find another tweet for you. Pull up the flow feed so you guys can look at that while I pull this up. Alright, here is another tweet. I think this one is probably the this may be like the most simplest, just like basic overview of it. I posted the link in the chat as well, so feel free to take a look at that. I think this is like the simplest explanation. This is like a technical explanation, and this is like a video kind of just breaking it down a little bit more. So you guys have 3 resources right there. So use those. Give me 1 second to just look at the market so I can make sure none of my positions are like crapping on me. All right. Looks like we're safe. All right. All right. So when you click, I see. Possibly. I would say that they probably, if I ask my dev guy if he wants to do that, he probably won't, because he actually, I had it on 250 when I started the stream up, and he told me to put it on 50 because like it lags a little bit, like as you can see here, and the experience isn't great, but 50 is just like much better. So I will. He's listening right now probably. So I'll see what he says after the stream. Speaking of Visa, shit's just blasting off. Roar Daddy says, within the course page, if you navigate to options basics, that's where you'll get the relevant info in regards to premiums. First time chatter, I hate typo says, could you share the filter you're using for the flow feed? Also, is there a list of pre-canned filters I can save and start using as a new user? So actually, if you check the change log, the June 25th entry, updated preset flow filters, flow feed default filters have been reworked and updated. Here's a little small ass picture that's too small. But where that's located is right here. So there are 5 like filters that these are pretty much the ones that I use. I was just like, all right, you know what? I figured the ones that are on here a little bit less than ideal, so I'll just throw this shit on here. And this stuff is pretty fire. It's pretty much the same thing that I had a second ago. Yeah, the results aren't too different. Reddit, another decent. Yeah, I mean 100K. It's more than I'm dropping on trades, to tell you that much. Oh shit, B-Man, I didn't see that you subscribed. My bad, dude. My bad. Appreciate the subscription. My bad. Yeah, so I hate typo. Just check these out. They're pretty sweet. Obviously, not everything on here is something that like I would buy. But this is a pretty great spot to start fiddling with it. These presets are also available in the mobile app. Do I have a picture of the app? We don't have a picture of the app. Or do we? How do I open this picture? So this first picture is what the new app flow feed looks like. So if right here on the top, there's like a left to right scrolling like preset filter thing that are these. So Reddit, the 65 calls from a week ago, just absolutely beast moding, coming in at, minimize this, they're coming in at 470-ish, hitting 13 or 1270 now. Net premium ripping. So what are they doing? I mean, they're buying more Reddit. That's what they're doing. But what are they buying? So we'll just look at the raw feed, 5,000 premium. We'll just go to calls. It should be pretty straightforward. So we see 75 August. Less volume than open interest, which isn't great. But if we look at the historical volume and open interest, like very unlikely. Like we're not seeing anywhere where someone could be short like 1,000 contracts. Yeah, so they're definitely buying these. They're buying the 75 Augusts. They're buying the next week 80s. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I mean they're buying up the whole chain pretty much. So what's the historical looking like? So Reddit is currently trading 2.6 times normal volume. Net premium, the highest it's been in pretty much fucking forever. 2 mil. No, there was like a 3 mil back in May, but highest in a long time. Nismo Jason asks, any plan to add Open Interest Explorer to mobile? Yes. So you guys probably have noticed that the mobile app has gotten some pretty sweet updates, including the flow feed rework, the filters, the contract charting, which is just like the most amazing feature ever. Let's be real. So there's these updates coming in, more updates coming as well, including new additional feeds, the contract lookup, and stuff like that. So yeah, good. It's coming. It's coming. We've been the mobile app's been neglected for a little bit too long. So, but we're trying to make up for that right now with a whole bunch of updates for you guys. Hola Penguin, B-Man in full effect. What's up? The treehouse is coming. My mans, my boys. The Snowy 27 asks, do you know why Reddit is running? I don't have any idea. Let's see if there is anything on Twitter. I mean, it's just people just being like, oh my god, it's going up. I don't know what it is though. I mean, it could be like election pump. I don't know. That's just a random speculation. Be careful with the speculations. I mean, everyone's speculating. Everyone speculates about this and that. You know, like you see people say, "Oh my God, like someone's buying calls. It's Nancy Pelosi." Like, no, it's not Nancy Pelosi. It probably isn't Nancy Pelosi. But like people just say like the wildest shit just for clicks. Oh shit! They bought they hit the Reddit 75s right at the open for we'll say like $2, give or take. Holy shit! I did not see that. Nismo Jason says, "Do appreciate the recent updates. Yep, appreciate the patience on waiting for us to make them, but they are coming. More on the way as well." God damn, this market is fucking hot. Like, look at these things. Oh, why lag? Alright, cool. How are the visas doing? Is Visa still pumping? Oops. Yep. Skep says, would like some tips on checking live gamma values. Gex provides gamma values once a day, I think. Any other way to look at gamma and predict dates / stock price? Thanks to the education. So I'm not going to be able to give you too extensive of an explanation because I don't use it a whole lot in my own trading. But just so you guys are aware, so there's like I'm not going to say it's confusion. It's just like people call stuff like different names. So like people say like Gex, like live Gex, like technically Gex, like it's not really a live thing. Like it's based on open interest, which is a once a day value. Open interest updates at like 6:45 Eastern. But there's another thing called like the spot gamma, which tells you, which is live. It's based on actual volume that's taking place. You can look at regular raw volume, or you can look at directional volume, which is like stuff at the ask, stuff at the bid, etc., stuff like that. There is a pretty extensive tooltip here. Let me link this page for you right now. So check that out. So it's just for clarification. Open interest. The Gex stuff is based on open interest, a once a day update. The spot stuff, you can see it's ticking like every few seconds. Yeah. Rodaddy says Reddit is such an insane stock. I can't wrap my head around why it's $26+ a share since the IPO. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And like the CEO like sold a shit ton of it like pretty much as soon as the IPO'd for like 30 some odd dollars, I think. Oh, it was 50. Yeah, I mean, it opened at 50, but I think it actually IPO'd at like 30 something. So we said earlier it was trading at 2.6 times normal volume. Now it's trading at 2.7 times normal volume. Yeah, Anthony, it's been a pretty low volume day. That is for sure. Sort by the market cap. So by market cap, I guess Apple's trading regular options volume. I guess stock volume is like the real volume. Let's look at that. Stock volume is the real volume. Where is that? How do I find that? How do we get there? There we go. Alright, so if we sort by the big boys, I mean, they're trading at 50 times, or at half, I guess we'll say. Google more than half, fewer, that is. Tesla trading a little bit more than normal. What's SPY? SPY's gotta be, where's SPY? Yeah, so SPY is trading at like half normal. So it is a slow day. So if you guys aren't aware, the market is closing at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. 1 p.m. Eastern. And it will be closed on the entirety of Thursday. Alright, let's see what the stocks are doing. They're doing. So something you guys can do if you want to track a specific contract, you can have an open interest alert created. So there's like a quick alert using this little bell thing right here. So now if I go to the alerts that I've created, ooh, should I not be on this account? What account is this? Let's see. No, it's alright. So I've automatically added it here. So tomorrow, assuming I have the app, assuming my push notifications are on and all that jazz, assuming all that, I'll get a notification that tells me what the change in open interest is. If we look at the change log, I believe there is a picture. Is there a picture? The picture did not make it to the change log. Let me see. Alright, here we go. Copy image. Do you see this? Let me see if I see this. Do I see this on the screen? There we go. Yeah, so you get a little notification that looks like this. Tells you the previous volume and open interest. It tells you the new open interest. So you can create an alert for this. Now, if you leave it alone, it's going to do that again tomorrow, like the following session, when you might not necessarily be that interested in it. So you might need to manage it, but it's there as an option. So now this is for something. This is just for a change in open interest for the next day, right? Let's say I am tracking the. We'll just use the Reddit calls as an example. So let's say I've bought these Reddit calls, or like I'm long Reddit. I just want to know when this whale gets out. So I know that this whale is long, let's say like 2,000 contracts at least. They're probably long like 2,500 or so. We'll say like 2,000 or so. So let's see. I'm going to make an alert. It's going to make for all changes, but I'm going to go in there and I'm going to edit it slightly. I'm going to edit it so I only need to know when there's volume followed by a decrease in open interest. So right, let's say, so if we take a look at the actual contract, so it's like a 65, it's a 65C, and the stock is like 70, it's $72, right? So like probably not going to be a whole lot of people buying it. Like yes, there's like a little bit of volume here, but like it's highly unlikely that there's going to be a day of like 1,000 volume and it's not due to this individual, right? So we'll play it on the safe side. I'll say, oop, this isn't the right one. I'll say on the safe side. So like we'll play on the safe side. So if there's ever a day with 500 volume, and then the open interest changes by, we'll say 500, I'll just leave it blank. I just want to know if there's ever a day with big volume, and then I want to know if there's a change in open interest. So let's say I do this. So let's say, you know, I go on vacation or whatever. Let's just say there's big volume here today. So tomorrow in the morning, I'm going to get a little notification telling me however much volume there was, followed by the change in open interest. So I may or may not know, or I may or may not be able to find out if this whale sold or not.
I don't have any examples of people closing trades today that I could create an alert for, but that is a thing if you guys want to do that. I need to actually delete these. This is like a master account type of thing. Another thing you guys can do, let's make one more real quick and then delete it. So market tide alerts for the cross, for daily high and low net call and put volumes, as well as just an update every 5, 10, or 15 minutes. That's something you guys can do as well. Today probably wouldn't have too many notifications. I mean, like there was probably one cross, but like that's meaningless pretty much. Not enough data to really make anything of that. And then for the rest of the day, it was just like a big, daily call high, daily put low, something like that. But on other days, probably much more useful. So that is another option. Nanometer says, could you check the flow on Tesla? I could, but real quick, we have another big SPY whale apparently. With a SPY, another July 554. Oops. Surprised my computer's holding up this well. It's usually just a laggy piece of shit, but it's hanging in there right now. Alright, so we have 1,300-ish contracts, give or take. There was a day. Now this is different than the other ones. So the other ones were like most likely, definitely someone opening calls. I'm not entirely sure if this one is opening or closing. If you check, you'll have to check open interest on this. So this is a good example. So make an alert. Well, so the thing is, this could technically all be a buy, and the open interest could technically not change. And this is due to how open interest works. Let me refer back to that tweet with the example thing that I put in. Reference that. If you guys know the answer to that, then you know why the open interest could potentially not change while these are all buys. So in that instance, the open interest update text notification, like it wouldn't be a whole lot of use for this specific contract. Everything has a specific use case. Like so for example, like these SPY, like this call, I don't necessarily need an open interest text in the morning. I know this shit's going up at least like 20K probably. You could have it just to have it, but you need to be able to know when you want to use stuff, when you don't need to use stuff. The open interest on this will go up, right? Unless there's volume at the end of the day, which there probably won't be. The open interest on this one will probably go up, but we don't know. This one will likely go up by at least a few hundred, up to a couple thousand potentially. This one will go up by at least 1,000. So I don't necessarily need to know the change. I don't necessarily need like a notification the next day. So like just make sure you can do it, but like it's not a great use of your time. You can be doing other stuff than having an open interest notification for something where you know it's going to go up, right? This comes with a little bit of experience, and a little bit of just math and knowing how stuff works, right? So if there's a 16,000 contract thing right here, if there's 16,000 volume right here, and we're assuming it's a single trader, it's very likely a single trader. If there's no other activity for the rest of the day, the open interest will have to be at least 16,000 the next day. So the open interest, the minimum amount of the open interest is going up tomorrow is 9,000. It could potentially go up all 16,000, but it is at least going up 9,000. That is for sure. Nanometer says, can you check the flow on Tesla? Did we see any other Tesla? I think they were chasing some other shit today. I gotta refer to the Discord server. Give me a sec. Tesla. I might have not typed in Tesla. I think I just typed in LOL because it was just so ridiculous. Yeah, here it is. The only like buying opening thing that I've seen today is the August 275s, which have had 8,000 volume in the last couple hours or so. Decent bit of it multi-leg, so don't love it. But there is that. There is also, what was it? Was it 275? Nope, it wasn't 275. Was it 265? Yep, it was 265. So yesterday, another whale that we were tracking. So here's another kind of example. This is an example. This is a thing where I would probably have put a notification would have helped you. It's not a single stick of massive volume, right? Like there's all this volume. This could be someone buying up this, these candles could be someone buying, and this could easily be someone selling. The open interest could easily have been like, it could have went up by like 100, 200, 300 tomorrow or yesterday, this morning rather. But instead, it goes up by pretty much all of the volume, so we know that all of these contracts have been carried over. What other? I think it was like the 205 calls from like last week. I was looking at. Yeah, so I saw this volume right here at like 293. This one's 372. And now they're kind of lost in the sauce. They're just lost in the fold. There's just too much volume to track this tiny little candle and this little candle. But they may or may not be in. If they are in, they've made a ridiculous amount of money. Congratulations to them. But I haven't seen a whole lot of other Tesla flows today. www.www.vvvvvv asks, is your website free? It is not free, unfortunately. There is some free limited data that you can access if you don't have an account. I am currently logged in, so I can't show you. But you can see like there's like a handful of tickers that you can see with limited data, so you can test out the functionality. We're currently running a sale for the next week. It will end on midnight, the midnight between the 8th and the 9th. So right here, Pacific time. So take advantage of that if you would like. I think this website's pretty cool. And if you guys check out the changelog, you will notice that it is only getting cooler. So check that out. The Snowy asks, what's the 8.8 flow looking like? I assume you're asking about Tesla. I'm not sure. I haven't seen. I mean, like, it's best. Like people like a common question is like, what's the flow? And like that means a little bit something different to everybody. Like some people when they ask like, what's the flow? Like if you just show them like this feed, they're like, okay, cool. Other people they might appreciate knowing like, oh, there's a specific, they're specifically buying this contract or that contract, or something like that. You know what I mean? So like it means a little bit something different to everybody. As far as like Tesla flows, I mean, I haven't seen anything specifically for 8.8. I mean, we can look at expiration. 8.8 is probably not an expiration, right? Yeah, so 8.9 would be the expiration. Yeah, I mean, it's just like kind of it's not really something that you can like look for specifically, and you never like. I mean, someone could be buying. I mean, they could be playing whatever that event is by buying something like for that expires on like August 2nd, playing some kind of run up in IV or something to that effect. But it's just always best to find individual contracts. So not only do you want to find individual contracts, but like you also want like the net premium to agree with you. You want other factors to, if you're a chartist, then you would like the chart to agree with you as well, stuff like that.
NYC reaching asks, do you struggle with fighting losses in your trading? Absolutely. Anyone who says that they don't either doesn't trade or is lying. I mean, you just gotta. The most important thing is just don't bite off more than you can chew. Like you gotta know your limit. You gotta know what's responsible for you. That kind of thing. Have a good, I would have if I had a $10,000 like options portfolio or something like that, like I would have like a $90,000 stock portfolio behind it. Like I would not want to be having like my net worth, too much of it tied up in options is what I'm trying to say. And like 10% is even like too much. Like 5 feels, I mean, this is just me. I have my risk tolerance is probably a little bit, it's different than everyone's. I mean, everyone's risk tolerance is different than everyone else's. Like I'm not special. Like yours is different than mine, mine's different than yours. Stuff like that. But you just got to get comfortable with taking losses that you can actually take. If you can't handle it, then you got to adjust. I used to have too much exposure over the weekend, then you just spend the whole weekend being sad and being, freaking out, anxious. That's just not worth it to me. I'd rather, size down a little bit and not like lose sleep. Jaguar Studios says, as a new user of the website, what would you say should be the first thing to get familiar with? Let's see. What would the first thing be? The first thing would be, I would say, is just like click around and see what there is. There's a lot of stuff that you're probably not. You're gonna click at it to see what it is, and then you're just never gonna go back to it, which is fine. But I would click around to see the contract lookup. This has to be one of like the best features. Once you start using the flow feed, adding contracts to it, tracking them, stuff like that. Don't forget, I don't know if you were here earlier, but there are some new preset flow filters that have been added. So these can be useful for giving you kind of like a starting point to like finding your own flow, stuff like that. These are all arbitrary numbers, right? They're not like these. Someone who uses 50,000 is no better than this. I mean, like there's some filters that are just like, I don't know, like what are you doing, bro? But like for the most part, you can do whatever you want with them. So just screen time. Honestly, screen time is going to be what's best for you. If you haven't already, make sure you link your account, your Discord account. You can do it from the settings page. It'll give you access to the subscriber channels where people share flow that they see, and it's good to see what other people are looking for when you're just starting out. So you can kind of see like, oh, this is something that I should keep an eye on, or stuff like that. I have typo says, planning on running any lifetime membership plans like we did in the past. Just signed up after following you for years and would love to support you guys long term. Yeah, so we have actually a lifetime subscription running now. We don't like openly advertise it, but it is available if you guys want to inquire. Just email support@unusualwhales.com and they can give you guys the details about that. There is a 10-month like payment plan in addition to a lump payment, so just inquire about the price via email if you guys are so interested. Skep says, I think there's a robotaxi event on 8/8. That is, yeah, there is some big event on 8/8. I saw Elon talking about that.
The Snowy 27 says, "Have you seen the stocks and real estate dude on Twitter?" Yeah, I don't know what that dude's deal is. Maybe he's legit, maybe he's not. I don't know. There's just so many like clowns on Twitter. It's hard to keep track of them all now. Brandon says, "Can you take a look at Oxy?" I sure can. I'm gonna need to take a second just to wrap up some positions before the close, but I can pull this up real quick. So we have some Oxy, couple week away, expiration. I think these are short. I think they are short, these contracts. I think they're short. It's hard to tell because the spread is wide, and it is technically closer to the ask, but I don't love it. I do not love it. I do not love it. I think they're short, if I had to guess. Who knows, though? I could be wrong. I'm wrong as often as everyone else is. Alright, give me 1 second to just... Holy shit, SPY. My god. Alright, give me 1 second to wrap some shit up here. Damn. This is fucking crazy. Alright, I'll pull this up so you guys can look at this while I do this real quick. Alright. Jaguar Studios, as a follow-up, I'm sure that the website is an easier viewer experience, but how would you say the app performs for the on-the-go in comparison? I will honestly say that the app, it's not going to be as good as the website experience. This is obviously going to be the case for like pretty much anything really. And it's just like unfortunate that that is the case because there's so much stuff, like there's so much functionality that's just like super easily accessible on the website, like, you know, the expiration date pop-up where I can see the contract, I can see the historical data, I can see the net premium chart, I can see this historical data right here. It's hard to make an app, it's hard to put everything in the app that we would like to put in it, unfortunately. So like, I mean, the app is going to lag behind. As for on the go, I would still, I mean, like, it can be done. I'm sure it can be done. I would personally struggle. I'm just like kind of like a computer. It's just easier for me. I mean, there's some people who like trade exclusively on their phones, and like I don't know how they do it. They're just better than me, I guess. But I mean, the website is going to be your best bet. NYC Reaching says, I tried a tiny little spot short, got stopped out because the tape is disgusting. It is pretty disgusting for sure. But Jaguar Studios, that said, the app has made a lot of progress. If you're only now seeing it, it was in a not great state not too long ago. So the experience now is definitely better than it was. And I'm not sure how long you've been in this particular stream for, but there are like push notifications that you can set up that will like significantly enhance like the usefulness of the app to you. Nanometer, I would say the market in general is bullish right now, my friend. And it has been for a little bit, for sure. Net premium is bullish for Tesla. Net premium is bullish for the market. And they're stepping on it a little bit more into the close. S Boy Errol, Snowlax, is this on YouTube also, or is there a replay of this? So a replay will be automatically uploaded, like when I hit end stream or whatever. It's gonna like maybe it takes a couple minutes, but it'll be on there. Um, I'll upload this whole thing onto Twitter, and I can also upload it onto YouTube as well. If there is any interest, type 1 in the chat if YouTube would be of interest. All right, it will be on YouTube. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll give you guys like another minute if you guys have any last minute questions for me. Appreciate the well wishes, Anthony. Thank you, Bean Man. So again, if you guys haven't heard, tomorrow the market is closed at 1 p.m. Eastern. 1 p.m. Eastern, and it will be closed on Thursday the whole day. So don't show up Thursday wondering where everyone's at, because we won't be here. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming in for the stream. Again, the VOD will be uploaded on Twitch pretty much as soon as I hit end, and then I'll upload this on Twitter tonight and YouTube tonight as well. All right, thanks again. See you guys, and goodbye.